Hi, everybody. Wishing all of you a very good afternoon. I am Praneeth. I am the head of undergraduate admissions for upGrad. Um, I'm hosting a webinar today on financing your higher education abroad. We've got with us Mr. Aman Jain, who's the Chief Marketing Officer of GyanDhan. GyanDhan, indisputably so, is India's #1 education financing marketplace. Uh, every year, about 20% of the entire student mobility that goes out of India to study abroad goes through GyanDhan. So GyanDhan has been extremely orchestrative, instrumental in ensuring that more and more Indian students can apply or at least know the sort of options they have, so that at least one option fits their aspiration and fits the kind of thing that they want to apply for and fits their circumstances, so they can actually actualize and realize and fulfill their dream of studying abroad. And so India is eventually becoming a huge market for studying abroad. I think almost 20% surge has been there. The US alone had about 3.5 lakh students that go every year to study abroad. And so with all of that happening, I think we need more and more firms like GyanDhan to ensure that more learners like yourselves can find the right loan conditions and schemes for themselves. So we're going to talk about collateral loans, non-collateral loans, secured loans, unsecured loans, the different rates of interest that are there, how much is the maximum loan you can apply for, and how do you actually at home if you are eligible for a loan or not, and what is the right time to be applying for a loan, how much time would it take to get a loan dispersed, and when you actually need a loan, do you need it prior to the visa, after the visa, what exactly has to happen? So Aman, I am extending a very warm welcome to you, and thank you so much for joining us. Would love to know about GyanDhan's vision from you, after which we'll start with the rapid fire.
Sure. Thanks, Praneeth, for inviting me here. It's always fun to talk to you and talking to all the students whom are getting help from upGrad for their abroad dreams. As you correctly mentioned, GyanDhan is an education financing marketplace. It's a place where people can come within 2 to 3 minutes. They can find out which is the best lender for you. So you don't have to go to 10 different lenders. You don't have to go to SBI branch separately, Bank of Baroda branch separately, Axis branch separately, talk to 10 people separately and find out, okay, hey, which is the best deal for me. That's what the value addition for, that's one of the first value addition that we do for the students who want an abroad education loan. Post that, we also assign a personalized loan counselor to the students who help students understanding key terms. Like many of the students who are, and with education loan, this is the first thing that any student gets exposed to first time, financial terms like interest rate, tax benefits, moratorium period, pre-tax, post-tax, prepayment penalty. So all of these things are very new for the students and something that they need help from somebody who has experience, somebody who can walk them through this. And that's where again we come into the picture. We help them out understanding each term, implication of each term. For example, if your interest rate is 11 versus 11.25%, how it's going to impact your EMI at the end of the day. That kind of detail we discuss with the students. Post that, the entire process of application being collecting documents, submitting it either online or in the major city, we come to the home, pick up it from their home or whichever place they prefer, submit it. So the relationship of a student with GyanDhan, it's not just for this 3-4 days, 10 days that they're applying for loan for, but it's entire life of the loan. So in fact, for the students who taken a loan from GyanDhan back in 2016-17, they're coming back to us when they are closing their loans. They need NOC or they need final calculation to settle their account, or any problem that they face. So the relationship with GyanDhan is for the entire life of the loan, and that's what we bring to the table for the students.
Absolutely, I think that also amplifies and expedites student mobility happening. I mean, the thing about 2021, we had about 4.5 lakh students. Yeah, we are currently sitting at about 7 lakhs for 2020.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that the number continues to grow each year. And I think studying abroad is one of the most wisest decisions that pays off in the longer run. And in the larger scheme of things, I think that leads to more opportunities. It leads to a better lifestyle. It leads to more employability. And of course, a higher standard of education or academia in general. My question, Aman, to you primarily is that uh, what really is required? So, what are some of the ones that are supposed who's doing a UG or PG degree? How are the two different? So, for example, we'll talk about UG first. If there's someone who's just graduated from a high school, whether through the high school diploma or the 12th certification from CBSE or any national board for that matter, or a state board. And if they're supposed to go for, let's say, the UK or the US, where the tentative cost is going to be anywhere between 65 to 70 lakhs, what is the next step? At what point should they contact you, and what should they have as a support document that the student can be applied?
So talking specifically when you should get in touch with us, I would say the moment you think of studying abroad, let's say if you are applying at that point in time, you should get in touch with us to understand what are the financial options, if I will be able to get financing or not, or if there are any roadblocks, we can let them know upfront so that you have ample amount of time to remove those roadblocks. So, for example, many times people come with imperfect collateral. They have a collateral, they have a property, but they inherited property from their father, forefathers, or so. And along the transition, they sometimes lose some documents. Now, these documents you can definitely go to a government office and can make these documents again. But this take time. Like making any document from any government office might take a couple of months. So you don't want to be in a situation where you just have a couple of months to go abroad, and at that point in time, you're getting to know that, okay, hey, my this document or that document is missing. So to answer your first question, the moment you think of abroad education, you should have one free phone call with us to understand, whether I will be able to get the financing or not, and if yes, how it will be, what is the path look like. The second point is the moment you get the admit. So once you understand now, that's great. If everything looks great, then you can forget about financing. Focus on getting the admit from one of the top universities. Once you have the admit, again get in touch with us and take the process ahead from there. Now, what is it that need to sort of take care at their end? So to start with, few documents which will be KYC of the student. KYC is PAN card, Aadhaar card, and the address proofs. So in fact, we have seen cases where students in their 12th class, they don't have PAN cards. So that is something that you need to, if you're thinking of studying abroad, you can make a PAN card while you are in your 11th class, 12th class. You should have a PAN card, because without PAN card, there are no loans. Apart from that, you need to have your 10th, 12th mark sheets. If 12th result is yet to be declared in your particular state or board, you can keep up to 11th class mark sheet. Apart from that, coming from the co-applicant, which can be your father, mother, brother, sister of the student, or spouse, if there are any. In that case, the co-applicant's financial documents will be needed apart from KYC. So the financials is 6-month bank statement. If they are salaried, then salary slips. If they are self-employed, then ITRs. One thing is that if you're applying for UG and the loan amount required is like 60-70 lakhs, then it needs to be backed by a collateral. For UG, you don't get a loan without collateral for more than 20-25 lakh rupees. So if your overall requirement is around 70 lakh rupees, then you need to have a collateral, and the collateral papers must be in place. So for example, if you want to take a loan based on collateral, you should have approved map of the property. You should have chain deed, sale deed. You should have tax receipts, and there are so many other documents that varies as per the location. So like even in fact in Delhi, in South Delhi, different documents are required as compared to North Delhi. So we give you a specific list of documents that will be required for your specific case in your area, and that you need to keep handy. So these are the few things. Good thing is if you're applying for loan with collateral, your parents' income doesn't matter much as long as the value of the property is sufficient, equivalent to the loan amount that you're applying for.
Got that. When you mentioned collateral, what all fits there? What all can be used to get a secure loan?
So most preferred and most popular collateral is home, your real estate property. Mostly people have their spare properties or the home that they're living in. They put that as a collateral to take the loan. Apart from that, you can have any commercial property as well, but there are tricks that will needed to be there that we need to solve. If there are open plots, though they are less preferable, but we get the loan done on that as well. Like for example, if there is an open plot, all banks want is there should be boundary on the open plot so that there can be distinguished between your plot and others' plot. So such kind of small things needs to be taken care. But yeah, open plot is also something can be done. Apart from that, if you have a fixed deposit, though the loan amount is so high, 60-70 lakh rupees. So if you have a fixed deposit of that much amount, you can make that as a collateral. Apart from that, let's say if you have an insurance policy, LIC insurance policy, the surrender value of the insurance policy can also act as a collateral. And good thing is that it can be combination of all of these things as well. Let's say if you need a 70 lakh rupee collateral, you have a property worth 40 lakh, you have 10 lakh rupee FD and 20 lakh rupee surrender value of LIC insurance policy. All three can be combined. At the end of it, the value of the collateral should be equivalent to the loan amount that you're looking for.
Thanks, Aman. Mohan wants to know if a site in a layout can be used. An open site, I think, laid out. So I think like Aman mentioned, if it's properly demarcated.
Yeah.
So,
right. I think now slowly you will become an expert yourself with time on these things. So as you correctly mentioned that, so the problem that the bank faces in open plot is that there are no demarcation. Tomorrow somebody can come and bank don't want to, go to courts, fight with people on whose property is who. They clearly want demarcation. So as long as demarcation is being done, there should not be any problem.
got that. So we spoke about UG. So anyone graduating 12th or doing high school diploma moves to a university abroad or wants to transition, he or she needs a collateral loan, which is a secured loan, which is always going to be better because the general value of a loan is going to be beyond 20-25 lakhs, which means it cannot no longer be an unsecured loan. And so collateral would fit anything that you can mortgage land or any open site as long as
Pranit, I think I've lost you there. Yeah.
I think you're on mute, Aman.
No. Can you hear me? Yeah. Right. I think I lost the question. I think you were asking about masters.
Yeah, I was just trying to summarize things for that. So any property or land that can be mortgaged or a fixed deposit equivalent to the value of the loan that you want to take can fit as a collateral. Now, coming to a non-collateral loan, I'd first pick up the topic for masters. If there's a student going for masters, there are a couple of things that I want you to address. What is the possibility or likelihood of them getting a non-collateral loan, which is an unsecured? Second, how do you assess or examine the academic integrity of the child? Is it gap years? Is it done through marks? Is it done through backlogs? How does that happen? And third of all, what is the limit of an unsecured loan? Until what amount of money can you actually disburse an unsecured?
Sure. So let me take all the questions one by one. So let me first start with the possibility of unsecured loan for masters. Good thing is that unsecured loan as a concept is being introduced for master's program only. So if there is a chance if I have to rank, then master's degree have the highest chance of getting an unsecured loan. You can get up to 40-45 lakh rupees for a generic college without collateral easily. Now, this age of getting the loan will vary by the country. So let's say if you are going to US, Canada, UK for masters, then getting 40-45 lakh rupees unsecured loan is not going to be an issue. But let's say if you're going, in fact, including some European countries like Germany as well, where also you can get an unsecured loan of 30-35 lakh rupees. Now, if you move to other countries like Australia and other small countries like New Zealand, there it will depend on college. So if you are going to, let's say in Australia, there is something called Group of Eight, the 8 topmost universities. If you're going there, master's program, you will easily get an unsecured loan. So at the end of it, one need to understand that unsecured loan for the bank is, for them, they are taking a optimum amount of risk that, okay, hey, I know that this student is going to a good college, good course, and I'm taking a bet that this student will be able to repay the loan because he will or she will do good in their life. So that is the first filter, the country college that you are going to. The most easier it is for US, Canada, UK, Germany, and then for other countries, it would be a bit difficult. Now, what do they look at? So think of it like a combination of various factors. So obviously the first factor, as I already mentioned, college and course. The second factor is because in unsecured loan, you are supposed to pay interest while you study. It's not like a secured loan where you are not supposed to pay anything. You are supposed to pay interest per month. And so what bank wants to evaluate, hey, while you will be studying abroad, do you have somebody at home who can pay this interest? So let's say on a loan amount of 30 lakh rupees, the interest per month would be 25,000 rupees at a interest rate of around 11%. So now, do you have somebody in your family who can pay 25,000 rupees as interest? So they need the co-applicant with the salary who can, and whose salary should be sufficient to bear this interest. So that is the second thing that they check. Obviously, as for any loan, they will also check the CIBIL score of student and as well as the co-applicant, whoever will be applying for. So these are the few factors that they look at. I will summarize it again. One is the country and course that you're going for. Second is the salary of the co-applicant, and the salary should be provable by the documents. Now, somebody can earn in cash, but that's not acceptable. The third is the CIBIL score. If you have taken a loan in the past and if you have not if you have defaulted, then obviously you're not going to get another loan. If you have not taken any loan in the past, that is also fine because new to credit customer can get the loan easily. So these are the three factors that generally banks take into consideration. Apart from that, now there are exceptions. Let's say somebody has a GRE score of 330, right? Then obviously they will ignore all other factors. They know that, okay, hey, this student is very good and is going for excellent education. Similarly, let's say if you are going to UK and to a very good university. So all of those factors should be taken into consideration, but that is exceptional basis, exceptional performance, exceptional marks. In all such cases, all those exceptions can be taken.
Just want to know how else do you anticipate, or that how is the academic integrity? Would you check gap years and backlogs?
Right. So there are two things. So if there are gap years between, let's say, 10th and 12th, so we have seen cases where there was gap between 10th and 12th of 5 years. Now that's very difficult to explain. So if there is a legitimate sort of explanation for such things, that, okay, hey, why there was gap, it should not be the case that, okay, hey, one day I just thought that, okay, hey, I don't want to do education anymore and I dropped out of the education. So that's a negative sign for the bank, and they don't want to lend credit to such applications. Apart from that, the backlogs as well. So now let's say if somebody has 20-30 backlogs in the bachelor's, again, that's a risky affair. And again, there they will need collateral. They need a solid collateral to do such loans. Without collateral, they will not do the loan. If your backlog is 4 or 5, then that's acceptable.
So what you're saying is, regardless if the universities offered them an admission, banks would still like to play it safe as long as they get their criteria fulfilled. And so if the universities enroll the student, the student has a couple of backlogs, so the bank will have an issue in giving an unsecured loan unless they're convinced of the academic integrity that the child is able or not able to demonstrate. Got that? Now, a lot of parts of the world, for example, Canada or Germany, require you to have a GIC or a block account
Yeah.
to show that you've got enough yearly living. Is the loan applicable on that?
Hello. Pranit, I think I lost you there. Can others hear me? Yes, others can.
Do you hear?
I got your question. So let me start answering this question by saying that you can take loan for anything, be it GIC account, be it block account, be it to eat a burger, to get a rail pass, to get a laptop, your flight tickets, everything. All you need to do is get let the bank know upfront that I need 50 lakh rupees and this is the breakup. 40 lakh rupees is my tuition fee. 10 lakh rupees I need for this thing. So whatever you can mention it upfront. And in fact, we recommend you to do so. So all the expenses you have mentioned it upfront, and later you don't take it. That's fine, because bank is only going to charge interest on the money that you take out of the bank. Let's say if you have got a loan sanction of 50 lakh rupees and you just use 30 lakh rupees out of it. So bank is not going to charge any penalty or anything on other 20 lakh rupees. And all the money that is needed, pre-visa disbursement, GIC account, block account, everything is possible from a loan.
Got that. So I hope I answered that. At this point, I just want to bring to the attention of all attendees here that upGrad has a unique arrangement or a setup in which we let students do their UG or PG degrees with a year in India or 2 years in India, and the rest of the portion of their studies on campus, especially when it comes to UG degrees. Australia, UK have a 3-year degree, so you can do 1 year in India with upGrad at a 90% fee waiver. So that first year will cost you 2.5 lakhs, about 3,200 USD, and you can then transfer to the university campus that you finally choose. The universities further give you with upGrad support about 10,000 USD per year scholarship. We've got universities doing that, but on a general average, we've got almost all our partner universities giving you about 25 to 30% scholarship on the rest of the academic years. For masters, we let you do up to 9 credits in the US, up to 15 credits when it comes to Canada. So you can pretty much do a lot, a huge portion or a huge chunk of your degree here in India, save a lot of money, and then we help you and assist you with loans for you to transition or transfer seamlessly abroad. Also, what really happens is whenever you apply for a loan, you need some amount of time with yourself, especially if there are documents that you're supposed to get assessed from the bank. And so without wasting any time, if you're a late applicant to any university that you finally want to go to, upGrad is one of the best platforms for you to start early and then eventually get your budget sorted, get your loan applied, get your loan dispersed by the time you're actually supposed to move to the campus. We've got a few more questions, Aman, but I'd like to understand something from you first. Supposedly a regular US master's degree would cost about 35-40 lakhs when it comes to living and academic fee both. With us, a standard US degree, so students get up to even 9 course credits of a 36 credit master's degree typically. They save about close to 9,000 USD.
Wow.
About close masters cost for the US would comes down with us to about 25 lakhs, 20 to 25 lakhs maximum. In that case, if it's an unsecured loan, how much salary should the applicant or co-applicant have to get an unsecured loan of 25 lakhs?
Sure. So get a loan of 25 lakh rupees is what I could gather, what you reduce the price to. Uh, uh, the co-applicant salary should be 40 to 45,000 rupees per month, assuming there are no running EMIs. If there are any running EMIs, then you add that on the top of it. So let's say if you have a running EMI of 5,000 rupees for a bike or 10,000 rupees for a car, then you add 10,000 rupees straight away on the top of that.
Can we give a ready reckoner for these students to actually sit home and actually assess if they can apply for a loan, huge enough or not, if it's an unsecured loan? So, do you follow a formula specifically that if it's a 25 lakhs loan, how
Yeah.
much?
Right. So primarily, again, as I mentioned, what banks want to look at is that, okay, hey, will the co-applicant be able to pay the interest while you are away, right? So on a loan of 25 lakh rupees with an interest rate of, let's say, 11% per annum, uh, the cost of interest per month will be 22,000. Now think of it in this way that, okay, hey, if you have to pay 22,000 rupees as an EMI, and you are the sole bread earner of the family, then your income should be 45,000 rupees only, right? So that is the concept that the bank follows, that, okay, hey, and that is something they call fixed obligation to income ratio, obligation by income. So bank says that obligation by income of any person should not be more than 65%. So you cannot pay more than 65% as the EMI of what you earn, right? So that's something that the bank wants to check. So that is the first thing that banks look at. Apart from that, the second is the college and course, and that's where I was mentioning earlier that for every bank and lender, there is a list that they follow. They have a pre-approved list of colleges for which they give an unsecured loan. So if you want to check if you fall or if the university that you are planning to attend falls under that particular list or not, you can get in touch with GyanDhan team by checking the loan eligibility on our website, or simply requesting a call back on our website. And our counselor will talk to you and will let you know. Let's say if you're preparing for 5 university, then out of this 5 university, which 3 are eligible and which 2 are not eligible, so that you can get a clear-cut answer on day one itself that, okay, hey, if I get an admit from university 2, I might not be able to get a loan, but I get an admit from university A, then I should be able to get a loan. And the third factor that I mentioned earlier was the CIBIL score. You can always go on cibil.com and check your CIBIL score by paying approximately 500 bucks. For these days, all these new fintech companies doing it for free for you. You can check it in Cred app or maybe Paytm app or Mint Wealth. Anywhere you will be able to see your credit scores.
How much CIBIL is required for them to get a 25 lakhs or 20? I mean, any amount of 25.
So CIBIL, see, so if you have not taken a loan in the past, your CIBIL will be -1. So which is fine, right? Because you have not taken a loan in the past, you should get a chance to, get a loan and repay. If you have taken a loan in the past and if you have defaulted it, now CIBIL works in a very mysterious way. It doesn't put their algorithm upfront that, okay, hey, if you default this much, that will be your CIBIL and that much. So what they do is while CIBIL score is a popular factor, but when we fetch somebody's score, we fetch details like how much money was lent, how much money was paid, how many EMIs were delayed for how many days. And then for every lender, they have subjective criteria that, okay, I lend for the people who usually paid back in 30 days after the due date. If you've delayed it by 30 days, then that's fine. Okay, it happens. By 30 days, the payments can be delayed. So every lender will have a different criteria. But to answer a generic question, if your CIBIL is less than 650, then almost nil chance for you to get a loan. If your CIBIL is greater than 700, then the chances are good. 650 to 700, it's a boundary case, and on each case, somebody will have to look things manually. That, okay, why there was a delay. In fact, there will be something called PD, personal discussion with the credit manager. So you or your parent will be called to understand, okay, hey, what happened, why there was a delay, and all of this. You get a chance to explain if you are at the boundary case.
Thanks, Aman. We've got a few questions here. I think I'll do a rapid fire with you so that we're clearing these. I have an admit from the University of Miami for the MBA program. They have offered me a GMAT waiver as well. The yearly tuition is 52,000 US dollars. Estimate living expenses 20,000 US dollars. Previous education qualification BSc, LLB, LLM, How should I go about financing, and would you give a letter for visa purposes? So Snehajit wants to know that she's got everything ready. She's pretty qualified. She's done BSc, LLB, LLM, and CA. Going for an MBA. So Snehajit, how to go about it would just mean that you approach GyanDhan and you submit. You will have an admit letter called I-20 that has the breakdown of your fee structure. And on that, GyanDhan will help you assess. Will help you with the right bank or the right facility that can give you a loan and will help you apply the loan. Um, so what I think she wants to know is when they apply for a visa, would you be getting the bank to give a letter, and would that work? So when visa is applied, would a letter work, or is there something else that they're supposed to show?
Sorry. Yeah. So, right, I understood the question. So there are two parts of it. First thing, I think you've already answered that. Just a minor correction there, that I-20 is not mandatorily needed for the loan. So even if you have a bit of an idea of your expenses, we can process the loan without I-20. So that's the first part around that. And second is, now as you are going to US, so this bank sanction letter that we will give you, that is acceptable by all the embassies. So the letter that you will get, the loan approval letter or the loan sanction letter, that you can submit as the proof of fund, and that will be acceptable to embassy for your visa purposes. You don't even have to keep any money aside after that. That sanction letter will be sufficient in itself to get the loan. So once your loan gets approved, you get this document which can be used.
For her to get the sanction letter at this stage, when she's going to do for, when she's going for her MBA, what all does she need to have? She needs to have her returns, salary slips. Is anything else?
Yeah. So from the student itself, the candidate itself, all we need is the academics plus KYC. Academics is your offer letter and all of that, and the KYC is PAN, Aadhaar, bank statement. PAN, Aadhaar, and address. Now from the co-applicant, because if you are applying for an unsecured loan, then from co-applicant, apart from the KYC documents, we'll need 6-month bank statement. And in that also, if it is this person is salaried, then salary should be visible in the bank statement. If this person is not salaried, if it is a self-employed person, then the ITR will be needed along with the computation of the ITR. So usually when there are businesses, self-employed people, they also need to submit computation of the ITR, that, okay, hey, this is sort of the balance sheets that they make to get to the final number of the earnings. That needs to get submitted. At times, the lender may ask for a couple of more documents if they require, for example, GST certificate or the business registration proof. But that's not mandatorily required for all the cases.
In which circumstances did you mention that the I-20 will not be required and the loan can still be
disbursed? I-20 will be required for the disbursement. For the approval, it is not required.
Not that. So as a general ballpark, her fee structure is going to be about a total of 65,000 USD, between 60 to 65.
Yeah.
How salary should the co-applicant have, Aman?
So 60 to 65, which is almost 45 lakh rupees in INR, that is needed. So to get a 45 lakh rupees unsecured, your co-applicant salary should be 75,000 rupees per month.
Got that. Thank you very much.
And just to add on that, you can add multiple co-applicants. So let's say if your father doesn't alone earn this income, but your father plus mother does, then both of them can become the co-applicant on the loan.
In an unsecured loan, who cannot be a co-applicant, Aman?
Your friends. Your friends cannot be co-applicant. Any relative can be co-applicant.
Relative would mean first order, second order,
So
third order.
usually up to second order, it works. Third order, then the financial needs to be very, very strong. Uh, so the higher the order, more is the risk for the bank, right? So they ideally want first order, like your father, mother, spouse, uh, siblings, but they can also then look at cousin, brother, uncle, aunt. But let's say if you go like cousin, brother's husband, then that will be far-fetched. Uh, there they will have problem.
Or that, uh, as Aman said, we need PAN card if you're in 11th or 12th. Majority students aren't 18-year-old. What about them? They can
So
still.
you get a minor pen card. Yeah, yeah,
But I hope I answered you, Aman. The learner's name is also Aman.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay.
uh, we've got a few folks who want to know if age is is a factor that banks actually look into.
Right. So unfortunately, yes. And this is something that I personally don't like. Many people, start late in their life, or they start late planning. What do they want to do? Uh, so usually, we have seen cases in the past where if the age of applicant itself is more than 35, then without collateral loans are a bit difficult. If it is a with collateral loan, again, for all practical purposes, nothing matters as long as you are backing it by property. Then age doesn't matter. CIBIL also will matter, but like boundary cases, they will be in your favor if there is a property. But without property, age is a big factor. Let's say applicant himself or herself is 35 or more, then bank will have problem in issuing unsecured loan. Primarily reason for that is, and that may be a traditional way of thinking by the lenders, that okay, hey, at 35 now you will get married, maybe there will be kids, there will be family to support. Right now we don't know all of that. You're going abroad, you will be studying, so all of these obligation can come in the future, which we don't have any idea about. So maybe, as I said, this is a very conservative and traditional way of thinking, but yes, age is a factor for unsecured loan. You will not be able to get if your age is about 35. 30 to 35 is a boundary case.
30 to 35 is so, but if it's a collateral loan, secure loan, then
Then everything is सारे गुना माफ जो बोला जाता है, that will be the case. Yeah.
so I hope I answered this one. Age 36, unsecured loan of 20 lakhs. Uh, is there, of course, and I'm anticipating there is one, there must also be a scenario where they can submit the documents to you and wait for your final answer, right?
Yeah, right. Yes. So you can primarily, for an unsecured loan, all you will have to do is upload the documents on our website. And within a couple of days, you will hear from us that, okay, hey, what is the status of the loan? If it is approved, declined. And after that, you can decide whether you want to go ahead or not.
Diksha wants to know, do we need collateral document for loan up to 45 lakhs to study in the UK? So Diksha, like Aman mentioned, a lot of these things depend on the university, on if you're looking for an unsecured loan, the salary of the co-applicant, that there's someone here back here to pay the interest. Um, if it's a collateral document, so I'm not sure what are you really asking. You're asking if as much as I know, I think you're asking if an unsecured loan of the worth of 45 lakhs can be granted or disbursed. It can be done, like Aman mentioned, depending on the university, your academic background, your GRE GMAT score, if it's required. Normally, the UK does not need it, so you will not have any. But as long as the bank can be assured of your academic integrity, your background, your co-applicant's financial strength, and the university falls in one of the lists that they said. So the banks have a list where they divide university between A, B, and C category. So I think that's something that you may need. Would also ask Aman if he wants to add something on top of this.
I think you have covered well. The university matters the most. So if for UK, which university you're going to will matter. So you can check with us. University you're going to is eligible for the unsecured loan or not.
Right. I'm a working professional. How much loan can I get for masters? I have home loan, I have card loan and credit cards, outstanding 9 lakhs. Sevananda, I don't think that Aman would be able to help you because you haven't mentioned how much of loan would you need and what do you earn. So I
Yeah,
don't answer that, right? Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, what about students whose yearly income is low of parents or co-applicant? So I think what they really want to know is supposedly you give a figure that here is how much your minimum salary has to be.
Yeah.
And if they're not matching to it, what happens next? Now, as much as I got you right, if it's a collateral loan, it does not matter as long
Yeah,
as you pledge something against it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Unsecured loan, what happens then? You said they can add multiple co-applicants. So,
Yeah.
so it's, but is there anything else that also happens?
See, so I mentioned, so the first thing is that, okay, if you have a collateral, or the other question we ask the applicant at that point in time is that, okay, do you have anyone in your family who have collateral? Your uncle, aunt, uh, grandparents of either side, if they have a collateral. If that's the case, then again, none of this matters. Now, if you don't have a collateral, then the second question we ask is that, hey, can you add another co-applicant? We understand that your parents are not earning that much currently. Uh, how about your cousin brother? How about your uncle? Will they be willing to support you, like in terms of becoming co-applicant of the loan? If not, then we work with a couple of international players, though they give money in other currency like USD, pounds, and the interest rate, if we take currency depreciation into consideration, will be very high. But then the option will be those where you can get loan without collateral, without co-applicant from the international player. But again, there also it is very limited to certain number of colleges in US and Canada. Like UK, lot many colleges are not there in the list. So there, then the next thing becomes is that, oh, hey, is there any spike on the resume basis that I can take the exception? So, for example, the university is too good, or the GRE score or GMAT score is too good, or the academics is exceptionally well, or the undergrad college is exceptionally well. So I will look for such sort of exceptions in the profile. But if the exceptions are not there, the collateral is not there, college is not good in terms of if it is in the list of the pre-approved college or not, then getting an unsecured loan will be a bit difficult.
Well, that
Yeah.
I think one important thing that I want you to let us know is the rates of interest and how they're different with a collateral or a non-collateral loan.
Right.
How does the repayment look like? Are there banks that, so like you mentioned, interest starts getting charged as soon as you apply for loan and then you go out? But are
Mhm.
there also banks where not a single penny is charged until you graduate?
Yeah. So there are two kinds of loan: secured loan, unsecured loan. So as you can guess that the secured loans are less risky for the banks. So usually when we take loan, secured loan, usually we take it from public sector banks, but the interest rates are one of the lowest. For example, in the current market scenario, you can get it at 8.5 or 9% secured loan. Good thing about secured loan from the public sector banks like SBI, Bank of Baroda is that your repayment starts after you graduate. So you don't have to pay, as you correctly mentioned, a single penny while you study. Your repayment starts after you graduate plus 6 months. Now coming to the unsecured loan, there the interest rate starts at 11.5% and go as high as 14%. So now, if somebody comes to me and say that I have a collateral, then 99% of the time I will say, hey, dude, you should go ahead and apply for a loan with collateral uh, rather than loan without collateral, because you will save a lot in the long term. Think of it of a loan of 30 lakh rupees, 3% difference in interest. So that is 90,000 to 1 lakh rupees difference per year. If you're taking a loan of for 7 years, 8 years, the difference will be for 7-8 lakh rupees, just the interest cost between the two loans. So go for the secured. Not only you get lower interest rate, your repayments also start after you graduate. You get like 2.5 years if you're going for 2 year course as a holiday period where you don't have to pay anything. While in the unsecured loan, your repayment starts immediately, at least of the interest. You need to pay interest or partial interest per month to start with from the very next month.
So what? So supposedly, if I mortgaged my house, and the value is about 2.5 CR, and I have a 1 CR loan on it already running. Uh, would I be able to get a loan of about 45 lakhs?
Sure. So you can get up to the value of the property as the loan. Now, value of the property should be as per the government circle rates, not the black market rates, right? So if the legit value as per the government of the property is 2 crore, and you have a 1 crore home loan on that, you can get another 1 crore of education loan. Now the trick will be that uh, we will have to see where the home loan is from. We'll need to transfer the home loan as well to the bank from where you are taking the education loan, because collateral papers can be only with one lender at a time.
Got it, Aman. We've got a lot of questions. 1 second. Nazneen wants to know, please answer my question. Where is your question, Nazneen? Oh, I think he's the one who was asking. If I run my own venture, what do I do next? So I recommended that he must have his ITR, his GST certificate, all the requisite documents, whether it's a proprietorship or a private limited firm. But what else is required if he's not salaried and if he has his own thing?
Right. So see, if you have your own venture and you are going abroad, then your income doesn't matter anymore, because you will not be able to run the business after this, right? Then we'll need a co-applicant, and the same rules apply. Uh, I hope that makes sense, because you will not be uh, earning anymore. You are going for a study, a full-time course. You will not be in India. You will not be earning anything.
So which means
So
in
yeah,
unsecured loan, they always need a co-applicant,
co-applicant. Yeah,
or not salary, whatever they're
yeah,
doing. They will, of course. So, which means if it's a private limited company held by someone else, which is of first or second order, uh, or a third order person, but financially very strong.
yeah, yeah,
Work out, yes.
yeah,
Okay. So if it's a family venture, it can still work out.
yeah. It can still work out. Yeah.
How do GyanDhan or bank evaluate the student application? I hope we've answered this 4 times now.
Yeah.
What if my co-applicant already has a loan on her name? How will bank the total EMIs that co-applicant is paying should not exceed 65% of the salary
Yeah.
or the income? Yes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Age factor has been answered. About 35, 36 is what he says is the threshold until which banks are liberal, but then I guess it depends case to case.
Yeah.
Fez wants to know, how can I apply for education loan? You write to upGrad or GyanDhan. I think Aman
Yeah.
has detailed, but I can of course give you my email address as well. So if you're low on budget, if you are a late decision maker of studying abroad, I think upGrad should be able to help you in every circumstance that you may have for finding the right scholarships, for helping you connect with Aman Jain.
Yeah.
Can I get a loan for parent salary? Yes, you can. Sorry, finish. There's a concept of simple interest and partial interest. How much does that help? Instead of paying full interest on a loan of 25 lakhs. So someone wants to know and wants to solicit your opinion on partial interest and simple interest. What happens?
Right. So it's just a flexibility that the lender gives. So let's say if they have approved the loan, and they say that okay, you have to pay 20,000 rupees per month as interest. Now you go back and say that okay, hey, you've already approved my loan, but can you keep it 10,000 rupees fixed? Then they said okay, hey, I will take 10,000 rupees per month. We'll mention it as a partial interest, and the rest will get accumulated with your principal amount. So case to case basis, they can give, but it will not change much on the eligibility criteria. That is the post approval discussions on what is your capacity to repay, whether you will be able to pay full interest or not. And these flexibilities are often from NBFCs, not the banks. Banks don't give any such flexibilities, but NBFCs do.
So the loan amount, regardless, has to be approved the way it will be formally, but it's the
Yeah.
How does the applicant want to repay is when
Yeah.
this can be discussed.
Yeah.
So approval in principal is a prerequisite, right? What if I have a scholarship from university over my tuition fee, but yet I need a loan for living expense and other things? How should I apply for this situation?
Yeah, so that's a great thing already mentioned. So you can take loan for anything. And congrats if you have a scholarship already. Uh, you can just mention while you are applying that, okay, hey, I need money for this thing. That's it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the bank will ask for the proof of scholarship. The uh, because bank don't want that, okay, I give money and you are not able to go abroad because this scholarship is not there. So they will need proof. Yeah.
Also, I think one of the questions that I have is upGrad runs a lot of programs for master's and bachelor's both, in which the first academic entity is different than the eventual academic entity. So they're doing their 10 months or 11 months advanced certificate course from Triple IT Bangalore or IMT Ghaziabad, which is about 3 lakhs or so. And then they go to the US, choose one of the universities that can be about 12 lakhs or the 20 lakhs, depends on where they want to go. Um, so in that case, would there be two education loans because the fee being paid are two different entities, or is the amount clubbed as long as one offer letter is uniform and covers both? What happens?
Right. So both the ways it can happen. It depends on what the lender is offering. Currently, what's happening is uh, like the first year fee is being done separately, and the second, once you uh, get done with the first year, then you can apply for the second year loan as well. But the intent is that we come up with the products where we are combinedly doing the first and second year. But currently, it happens separate in the current scenario. Yeah.
I pursued my BTech computer science, want to do masters in computer science in London. Could you suggest me the best university which offers me a bit low tuition fee? Also, if my dad is working, can I get that? So yes, of course, if your dad's working and everything fits, you can get an education loan. But I think for technology courses, especially computer science, I'd recommend the US more than any other part of the world. The US and Germany are both great markets to do your CS. I think they offer a groundbreaking economy and that ecosystem where you can thrive in technology. The US alone, almost 30% of their economy and the export services they give is technology. So, you've got almost 1.8 trillion USD just in technology alone there. And also the US has a great amount of market-driven investments where corporates across the US and other parts of the world fund research projects of science students in these universities. So you're better off studying in the US. We've got so Janvi, we've got almost 3-4 universities now that will finish these, that'll help you complete the entire course in under 15 lakhs. So 12 lakhs on the university campus in the US, about 3 lakhs in India to do the triple or advanced certificate course. You have to be academically bright. You can't have more than 5 backlogs, and you need to have at least 65% in your bachelor's. If you have 55, between 55 to 65, your average cost of education is going to be about 18 lakhs for 2 years, 1 year in India, 1 year in the US. You get a 3-year work visa. And of course, loans can always be applied as long as your father fulfills the criteria, or then you can add co-applicants in that matter. Wahlberg wants to know what's the process of repayment. Aman has already mentioned that. What documents for secured loan, interest, when to pay back, what salary is needed? Secured loan, the interest is 88.5%. What salary is needed for 35 lakhs? Aman,
Yeah.
I would need you to be my ready reckoner here. What salary is needed for a loan of 35 lakhs?
So for 35 lakh, it should be 55,000 also. So it's just extrapolating the numbers. That's it. Yeah.
So sorry, I hope we answered you, Rashmi. About 55 a month. But then again, if you're already paying an installment, that doesn't count here. So you have
Yeah.
to subtract it and then maybe the salary requirement for 15 lakhs in Germany for non-collateral. Now they're making you feel like a calculator. Uh, Salary requirement for 15 lakhs in Germany.
See, so the minimum salary requirement is 35K. So now you are applying for 10 lakh, 15 lakh, 20 lakh, 35K is the minimum salary requirement for an unsecured loan. higher the amount, then it increases from there. Yeah.
There's a gap between 10th and 12th of 10 years. Would the bank still be willing to give a loan? So 10th and 12th, there's a gap of 10 years, Aman.
So unsecured loan will not be possible. I'm 100% sure on that. The secured loan will depend on value of the collateral, and also you will have to explain why there's a gap of 10 years between 10th and 12th.
Right. Saurabh Joshi wants to know, hi Praneeth, I've done BCom and was previously working but had default and repayment of credit card due to impact of COVID. Now applied to UK universities, have received offer letter from the University of Greenwich. For my master's, I need loan of approximately 25 lakhs, including 15 lakhs of tuition. Living expenses 10 lakhs. Will I be able to get unsecured loan if salary of co-applicant is low or in case no co-applicant? So sort of like Aman mentioned, you need a co-applicant if it's an unsecured loan because you're no longer working. Will I be able to get an unsecured loan if salary of co-applicant is low? Do you want to answer that? Aman? So he has two things. One, that he's defaulted a repayment of credit card. You mentioned that if it's within 30 days, it's still something that is forgivable.
There is a catch in the question. So if it is default is never paid. If it is such a case, then I'm really sorry, but unsecured loan, or in fact, for that matter, secured loan also will not be possible if there is a default. Now, if there is a delayed payment of 30 days, 60 days, one time, two time, that can be looked at. So we need to understand that if it is a default versus delay. Second is, as far as the income is concerned, I think we have mentioned multiple times. So you need 15 plus 10, 25. Your co-applicant income should be 40,000 or so. If it is lower, then you need a collateral or you need a second co-applicant or so. Yeah.
Thanks, Aman. My university is IU Germany. Is it eligible for unsecured bank loan?
Yeah, in fact, we have done quite a few loans of upGrad itself for IU Germany. Usually 15-20 lakh rupees is the requirement, 35,000 should be the co-applicant income in that case.
Okay. Are the interest rates fluctuating or fixed? What is the period of loan payback?
So you can take up to 15 years to repay the loan. Though people don't take that much time, they repay in 3 to 5 years, but you can take up to 15. The interest rates are floating for most of the lenders. The floating means that as the RBI changes the repo rate, like for example, you must have heard because of the recession fear and inflation, RBI had changed the repo rate twice in last couple of months. So all the existing loan interest rate also increased because of that. So let's say if you have taken a loan at 11 in the world before, after this 2 increment by RBI, now your 11 will become 11.6 or 11.8, depending on how much RBI is increased. So for mostly the rates are floating, not fixed.
If I may, so Urvish says, if I'm unable to showcase somewhat 50 lakhs as deposits in bank, government bonds, and want to get benefited from a subsidized student loan, government, which I can avail at 4%, would it have a negative effect for the admission? Because so basically he wants to know if he can showcase 50 lakhs as FD in banks and government bonds, want to get benefited from for a subsidized student loan from the government of Gujarat. Would it have a negative effect for the admission? How would it have a negative effect for the admission? It is your money. You're doing a collateral loan.
Yeah, that's what. These are the two separate things. Admission is primarily is a factor of your academics, whereas loan is a factor of your financials. Admission, people don't care how you're getting the money, as long as you're getting it legitimately.
Does my cousin uncle would be considered as co-applicant? So I don't know if this is a third order or a second order cousin, but considered as a co-applicant, second order, yes, if it's a blood relation with your parents.
Yeah.
Third order would mean, let's say, the blood relation of your parents,
father,
is probably your, so connected to someone who's a blood relation of your blood. So that Aman said is only possible if they have a very strong financial strength of backing, else won't work.
So
Uh,
you also will have to prove the relationship with that person. So in this case, what I can think of is you will need his PAN card, which will show his father's name. Then your grandfather's PAN card will be needed so that their both fathers' name are same. So such kind of relationship proof will be needed to be shown. And again, as Pranit mentioned, a strong co-applicant needs to be there in such a scenario.
for students who live out, and also your friends cannot be a co-applicant. For
Yeah.
students who live outside of India but need to study abroad through upgrad, are they eligible? If yes, what are the requirements? So Aman, they want to know if someone is not an Indian native or a passport holder, what happens then if the student?
Then the option will be international lenders. Indian lenders won't give the loan if you don't live in India or if you're not in India at the time of loan application itself. Then the only option becomes international lenders who give loan without collateral, without public.
Uh, so
International lenders are the only option in that case.
okay, got it.
Yeah,
Which can be brought in by you, right, or with you.
yeah, we work with couple. Yeah,
Like Aman has mentioned, GyanDhan is a conduit for you to connect with any international lender as well. Like he said, there's this high rate of interest, but it is what it is. Cousin uncle meant son of my mother's uncle. My goodness. So I think what you can do is you can individually case by case write to us and we can get them.
yeah.
Uh, we've got a few things on the chat box also. Aman, just give me 1 second.
Sure.
My son is planning medicine undergrad and UK fees is around 2 CR. How do we go? So Rupali, good that you connected to us. I think the best thing to do is to get a collateral arranged for that much of value. And I think so. My question to you, Aman, is if it's an undergrad collateral loan, can they still add multiple co-applicants in this also?
But why would a multiple co-applicant needed in such scenario? The only thing is the value of the collateral. Uh,
If
that
so you're saying the parents and their can be combined.
yeah.
And if it still does not stack up to fit 2 CR,
Then yeah, definitely multiple collateral can be added up of multiple people.
so I hope we answered you, Rupali. The next question that we have is, Sir, I am September intake. You are going for September intake, right? Actually, I have already home loan. I need 20 lakhs loan, that too for Ireland. So Pramida, collateral, if it's a secure loan, unsecured, you need a co-applicant. And like Aman said, so first I want to know if you're a UG student or a PG student, but regardless if we, Pramida, Aman needs 20 lakhs. She has a loan running, but again, she's not put any numbers, so it's very difficult to assess. Snehajit says, even with an existing loan, can I get an education loan with collateral? Depends if it's the same collateral you're using.
Yeah,
Then how much of it is unused capital that you've
yeah,
not used. Yes, Saman?
yeah, correct. Yeah.
I'm trying to learn. So one day I can fit in your team as well. Aman.
We'll be happy to have someone like you in the team.
Also, does the current account statement suffice for bank records that need to be shown? Yes.
Can you repeat? Where is it that you're reading?
Does a current account statement suffice for bank records that need to be shown?
So if it is a self-employed case, then yes, current bank account statement is needed because of the business. If it is salaried, then there is no question of current bank account statement. There you have a saving bank account statement.
Ramida says, actually, we will be paying the loan. Why is the co-applicant needed?
See, so co-applicant is needed in only in unsecured loan, right? Because in unsecured loan, while you study, an amount is supposed to be paid. Who will pay that? Because you will not be able to, you will be studying. That's why they need an co-applicant in unsecured loan. In secured loan, if you have a property on your own name, go ahead, you can take a loan on that property. If it is not on your name, then obviously whoever person owns the property, usually the parents are the one. That's why they have to come on the loan structure.
We've got a question from Rhonda. I have 18 lakhs of home loan. Can I keep the same collateral and take 20 lakhs? So it depends on what's the value of the collateral. For an unsecured loan, if I'm working professional, then is the co-applicant mandatory? He just answered that, so I'm hoping that you got your question answered. Yes, it's required. We've got another last thing. So 1 second. So the collateral value is 50 lakhs. Yeah, so as long as the value is 50 lakhs, you can take loan as long as it's not used. But like Aman said, you can't use two different banks to be doing this. The collateral can just stay with one bank, so you have to get the loan. Can OCI card be reply? So any non-resident Indian, can they apply for an educational within India?
No, then it needs to be from international lender. Indian lender will not be able to do so.
What is the international lender rate of interest? Is what Aishwarya is asking.
Right. So usually they charge 8 or 9%, but that's in USD or pounds or euro. So if you take currency depreciation into consideration, there is a long maths explaining that, but 8% USD loan will be equivalent to 12-13% INR loan in the long term.
Got that. Can PPF be used as collateral, Aman?
No, PPF is not allowed. You will have to get the money out, make an FD of it.
Repco Home Finance has given the loan. They can't give education loan. So like Aman mentioned, you have to get it transferred to the bank. So there's one uniform lender.
So we do it for you, Pramida. We will transfer it to, let's say if we get it done from SBI, then we'll transfer your home loan to SBI. And then on the top of that, we'll do the education. So everything will be done. All you have to do is get in touch with us.
Thanks, Aman. Thanks for clearing the difference between default and delayed, Aman. But yes, I do repaid my, so he repaid his CC bill.
Right. Then just case to case basis, how much delay was there. And I don't think on this webinar, I will be able to answer give you an answer. You will have to get in touch with us and give us the documents and everything.
What about the proof of funds that we have to show if we're going to US? Does that get covered or we have to arrange? So Aman mentioned that if you have a loan disbursement letter in principal approval of the bank, then you don't need other funds.
Yeah. Like loan approval letter or loan sanction letter works. If that is there, then that is sufficient for the proof of funds in the visa interview.
Is there any pay after course for unsecured loan? So
no.
Loan will not give you money after the course ends, right?
Yeah, so I think he or she is asking if they can repay after the course. But in unsecured loan, you have to pay at least partial interest, which can be 10,000 per month, something like that.
Yeah. Oh.
Right.
Can grandparents be the collateral? they can give you one, they can't be there. And what order are they considered? My goodness. She wants to know if her grandfather or grandmother and anything in their name actually can be used as a collateral. Yes,
if they have a property, yes, that can be used as a collateral. Yeah.
Got it, Aman. Thank you. Yeah. See 1 second. Whether loan can be made available for PhD in the university in Canada, if yes, how many salaries more than 1 lakh per month to guarantee the loan?
Yeah, for PhD also the rules is same as masters. Usually PhD candidate doesn't need the loan because they get good enough stipend from the university itself. But if there is a need, definitely PhD is considered better than master's course for sure.
What kind of insurance policy can you use? So he said a life insurance that has a surrender value.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which kind of insurances cannot be used?
It's a life insurance only. Life insurance from, just to give an example, LIC or HDFC. That.
If a family falls under EWS category in India, yet need a non-collateral loan, how is the profile going to be evaluated?
Uh, I don't think I'm very much aware of the EWS definition. Uh, Pardon me for that. Uh, but again, all of these categories and all doesn't matter for the loan. For
Most
loan, it's very simple. Three things they look at: university course, second, co-applicant salary, third is the CIBIL. Uh, any government subsidy for any category after that comes after approval, because ultimately the lender has to ensure that the money that they're giving out, will it come back or not.
So if a family falls under the weaker strata,
Yeah.
then
So there the plan is simple. Apply, get admission from a very good university. Should have good academics, good GRE, GMAT scores, whichever exam you have given, and exceptions can be taken. In fact, then there are scholarships available. Like I know Tata scholarships that is being given to hundreds of the students every year. Like they give you money at zero interest to study. So such kind of things, then you will have to look at.
so
Uh,
you can help them for these things also, right?
definitely, we do help out with such things.
I have a home loan on my name. Will it make a difference if I go for study loan? Will I need to show how much will home loan be paid in that period? So Gaurav wants to know that if I've got a home loan in my name and I'm now going for education loan, so I get the loan from the same lender.
Mhm.
Of course, you said I need a co-applicant.
Yeah.
But Gaurav, look, so if you're if you're doing a home loan, I mean, if you've gotten a home loan, you're taking a side loan, I'm assuming you're getting a collateral for both. And if that's the case, I don't think you need a co-applicant in that case. So you don't have to show that how will loan be paid because you
Uh,
have, or
but I will differ a bit here. So bank would definitely would want to know that how will you repay your home loan EMI.
okay,
Uh, yeah, in this case, because in education loan, you are not supposed to pay anything while you study. That's why
absolutely.
bank doesn't care about whether your co-applicant earns or not, because they assume that you will start earning and one day you will start earning. But the home loan EMI will still be there,
Right.
and that they would want to understand that how the EMI will be paid, and they would want to understand who will pay it in the family.
So what happens next? So Gaurav is supposed to get a co-applicant roped in.
Yeah. So in that case, a co-applicant will be needed because home loan is now there.
What is the minimum rate of interest? His profile is very good. So it won't depend on that. I think they've got standard rates, right? Yes.
So with collateral, yes, rates are standard. Like SBI charge a fixed rate of interest, irrespective of collateral, irrespective profile. For unsecured loan, if the profile is very good, you can get as low as 10.5%.
So got that. So when you say this, that means the financial capacity, yes,
Yeah.
what they earn and how likely are they, how not likely are they going to default this? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we've pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh my goodness. Now we've got one more. If we've got three sites and then two of them are being purchased from home loan, will those two come under collateral? So if the home loan is still running, that won't fall under this, right?
Uh, I have three sites, and on that, two of them has been purchased from home. The two will come under collateral. Uh, so if the three sites are part of one single property, and if you're giving one property, then obviously the other two will also come. But if it is the third one separately, you can just give the third one as the collateral, and that's it. Yeah.
He wants to know, will those two also come under collateral?
So if the property is separate, it is separate thing.
Yeah, he says they're different.
Yeah. Then it will be the two separate properties will be separate. Third property you will be using for education.
Pranjal has a question. Can we choose the banking partner or GyanDhan will be selecting?
See, so based on our experience of helping tens of thousands of students, we will recommend you the lender. But obviously, it is your choice at the end of the day. We'll give you two options to the very least. That option A is this, option B is this. But why would you not want to go with it if you are able to, if you are recommending you a better option, lower interest rate, lower processing fee, better experience. But yeah, ultimately, you are the one who need to make a decision. We can only recommend.
I think that should be it for now. I think we should wrap up. Thank you so much, Aman. You've been great help. I think everybody here is super grateful to you. I think you've made it so much easier for everybody to understand how does the loan process and the financing bit of it work. And I think mobility really gets amplified and accelerated when they know how to get the finances right. And I think we need folks like you more concerns and entities like GyanDhan to ensure that everything happens.
Yeah. Thank you, Praneeth. As I always mentioned, always enjoy these conversations with you and helping the students. Thanks a lot. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. I'm just gonna put down my email address on the chat box. You can always write to me if you want any help in choosing the right program and making sure. So the biggest part about upGrad or the biggest benefit is that we have programs tailored to your budget, your aspirations, and your budget. If you've got under 20 lakhs and you want to even finish a degree in the US, we've got a university called Clark, which falls in the top 100 in the US, which will be as less as 15 lakhs of academic fee alone for 2 years. So we've got so many programs in Ireland, Germany, US, Canada that can actually fit your budget. So I wish you guys good luck. Always feel free to write. One second. I think I haven't given my email address. I'm just sending my email address here. You can always write to me if you want any help, if you want me to connect with GyanDhan. I wish you guys good luck. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.